On 27th April 1937, at the age of 46, Italy's most formidable communist and Marxist, Antonio Gramsci, died. Gramsci had been arrested by the fascists in November of 1926. At his trial, the public prosecutor said, "For 20 years, we must stop his brain from functioning." He was wrong. In prison, Gramsci wrote regularly, smuggling out his notes and his ideas, 3,000 pages in total, which would eventually be published in 1948. Gramsci is known for these prison notebooks. Born in 1891 in Sardinia, Gramsci had first-hand knowledge of the wretchedness of the agrarian condition of Italy's southern part. He would later go to university in Turin, in the heart of Italy's industrial zone, where he saw the workers' council movement firsthand. A journalist for the socialist press, he would be a founder of the Italian Communist Party. He would work in Moscow for the Communist International before he returned to Italy to be thrown in prison. The main themes of Gramsci's work are evident early in his life. In 1916, he wrote an article called Socialism and Culture, in which he argued that every revolution has been preceded by an intense cultural activity, by cultural penetration, by the penetration of ideas through the gathering of individuals, recalcitrant at first, and only concerned with solving their own economic and political problems day by day, hour by hour, without bonds of solidarity with others enduring the same conditions. This cultural activity, this deep fight against dangerous hierarchies and habits inherited from the past, had to be conducted on a political basis by a party, not by individuals. This was an early lesson which drew Gramsci into the socialist movement. The great gap between peasant Sardinia and industrial Turin haunted him, not only in his famous 1926 essay on the Southern question, but even in his insistence that the 1924 Communist Party paper, Unity, have as its subtitle, The Workers and Peasants Daily. In his 1921 essay on the Livorno Congress, he wrote, "Workers' emancipation can only occur with the alliance between the industrial workers of the North and the poor peasants of the South for the overthrow of the bourgeois state and the establishment of the workers' and peasant state." Gramsci had great sympathy for Lenin's worker-peasant alliance, which came for Gramsci from his own Sardinian roots and his experience of the worker council movement in Turin. The Turin years were important to Gramsci, since it was there that he absorbed revolutionary possibility from the proletariat of Turin, whom he called in 1920 the spiritual leader of the Italian working masses. On 21st January 1921, Gramsci participated in the founding of the Italian Communist Party. He was elected to its Central Committee. These were hard days. On the one side, the Soviet Revolution was developing, and on the other, the fascists were gaining strength in Italy. What is fascism if viewed through an international scale? Asked Gramsci. It is an attempt to solve the problems of production and exchange with machine guns and rounds of gunfire. In the debate within the Italian party, Gramsci took the view that the organization of the working class and peasantry must be the party's priority because the weakened people were being destroyed by the fascists. It was, sadly, too late. In prison, Gramsci would reflect on why the fascists won and the communists lost. In Italy, it was not enough, he felt, for a communist to seek political power or to make economic demands. Communists had to understand hegemony, namely, that the ruling class rules not merely with coercion, but with consent as well. Ideology needed to be studied. Moral claims of the bourgeoisie needed to be contested with an alternative horizon. When the bourgeoisie relies on force, then there is a crisis of legitimacy. The loss of consent does not immediately transfer consent to the proletariat. Rather, Gramsci said, there is an interregnum, a period in between, when the old dies, but the new is not yet born. The communist must, through the party and outside the party, engage in full-scale cultural struggle to propose a different vision of culture and life, to settle the dilemmas of humanity on the side of progress. Gramsci's great contribution to our movement is to get us to understand this fight over morality and ethics, the very horizon of human possibility. The very horizon of human possibility is, of course, also a class struggle. EMS Nambudripad and P. Govinda Pillai reflected on these very themes in the immediate aftermath of the collapse of the USSR. Their book, which will come out later this year from Leftward, is at its heart Gramsci's view that a communist is a person who takes sides, who is anchored in sound moral and political beliefs, does not conceal them, nor even tries. The communist must struggle for culture, that is, for a new humanism, a critique of customs and feelings, and be driven by a passionate fervor. April 27, 1937, our comrade Antonio Gramsci died at the age of 46. Every April 27th, we remember him fondly, not only for his work in the struggle to bring emancipation to the world, but also for the lessons he taught us, and that I hope very much we continue to struggle with and perhaps learn.